Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Nightly. I'm Alex Wilcox. Coming up, we'll hear from the Bowling Green baseball team as they resurrect their program. Plus, high school football players are back at work, and a local standout athlete gets a send-off to remember. But first, on Friday, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine approved safety plans for the Memorial Golf Tournament to be held with fans in mid-July. With that announcement, Marathon Classic organizers took to Twitter to reassure fans that the tournament would proceed July 20th through the 26th. While there's light at the end of the tunnel for upcoming golf tournaments, the writing appears to be on the wall for minor league baseball. The voice of the Hens, Jim Weber, shared his thoughts with us late last week.
Well, you know, every 100 years we seem to have a pandemic of some sort. Nobody expects that. And I knew right away we were probably done, even though they haven't said it officially yet. We can't survive without letting people in. People thought, well, you could play in an empty stadium. Not at this level. We'd be making no money. We don't have no $1 million TV contracts, stuff like that. And then I know Joe Napoli came out with that a few days later. I think I was on the Blade podcast or something. But I knew that, you know, it was probably over unless something happened quick, and now we're running out of time.
This week, a dramatic about-face from the Bowling Green Athletic Department. Just weeks after shutting down the baseball program, the school announced the team will indeed return to the Diamonds next spring. BCSN Sports Director Claire Dow breaks down how a group of committed alums made it all happen.
On May 15th, Bowling Green State University eliminated its baseball program. It took a group of alumni just a week to raise over $1 million. Those fundraising efforts and strong community backing resulted in the university reinstating the program.
It's been a wild 2 weeks. All the late night phone calls, all the phone calls have been worth it, and I am pleased that BGSU Baseball is back. However, as I told the guys that I've been talking to, the work continues, and we need to continue to build upon this enthusiasm and the momentum. Over 200 plus alumni, friends, and family have committed to this effort, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I certainly wish the circumstances were different, but again, I am very thankful and grateful for those that have committed and recommitted to BGSU Baseball and Bowling Green State University.
Going forward, BGSU will provide around $250,000 annually to the baseball team for scholarships. Another $500,000 a year will have to come from donations to cover the program's operational costs.
You know, the guys that I've been talking to, they're committed. They understand that, listen, we all need to, and they were committed prior to this as well, but some of them have increased that giving, but they understand that this is going to be a annual challenge for us, and they feel that this model can work for them. And you know, when it's proven that it can work, they want to take this model to the other sports teams and say, "Hey, listen, don't take this for granted. This can happen to you in the future. Who knows what the future holds for us?" Obviously, COVID-19 is not over, and we still need to figure out, you know, our financial position moving forward. You know, enrollment will go up and down, and we know that. So there's always going to be challenges in funding a Division I athletic program. So I think they're committed to it on an annual basis, and they understand and appreciate the challenges that we do have running this program.
The $1.5 million already raised has the squad set for approximately 3 years. With the Falcons, Claire Dow, BCSN.
The 2020 season would have marked the 30th year for head coach Danny Schmitz at BGSU. Instead, the longtime skipper will transition into an advisory role. Meanwhile, assistant coach Kyle Halleck was named interim head coach. And Bowling Green baseball isn't the only sport that's coming back. Auto racing returns to Toledo next weekend, but without fans allowed in the stands. The Toledo Speedway, which is yet to host a race this year, will drop the flag on the ARCA Menard Series East race, originally scheduled for May 16th. The Hers Potato Chips 200 will be limited to just essential race personnel, no spectators, due to state and local guidelines. The race will be telecast live on the NBC Sports Track Pass and will re-air on NBC Sports Network, which can be found on Buckeye Broadband at Channel 20 or 650 in HD. Toledo Speedway and Flat Rock Speedway will both update their schedule later this week. Coming up on Sports Nightly, high school athletes were back on the field for the first time in months. See how these teams are adapting to their new normal. Plus, just because graduations were canceled doesn't mean you can't throw a party. We'll be right back.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Doing it different, doing it right.
Athletes, coaches, teams, and schools across the country are speaking out and voicing their support for the black community, including some here in the Glass City. Both Toledo head football coach Jason Candle and Bowling Green football coach Scott Leffler put out statements condemning racism. Evan Brown, a linebacker for the Falcons and an Anthony Wayne alum, posted a poignant message about being black in America. And OHSAA Executive Director Jerry Snodgrass stated in part, "We cannot promote sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, or leadership without ourselves leading by example. We, as an organization, can and will strive to do better." As we were out in the community this week, high school coaches and athletes shared their own thoughts with us.
I think a few things on the matter. I think that the events over the last several months are unbelievably unfortunate, tragic, very disturbing even, and it's dividing our country in some ways. I think in response to that, the protests have really been a beautiful thing for people of all different backgrounds to band together and have a voice and to protest what's been going on in this country for far too long. And you can make an argument for the entire history of our country. Now, I do think, though, that the riots are a whole separate matter, but the protests have been, for the most part, a beautiful thing. And you know, I've always said that one of the most beautiful places in America is always a football locker room, and the way that people from all different ethnicities and socioeconomic backgrounds and different communities come together and welcome one another is really a beautiful thing.
We all know that we stand behind the black community as one, and we all hope for this oppression to stop.
Really, I think for me, it's great to just listen, and, you know, and not speak and just listen, and for their voices to be heard, and to consider them and really let those words resonate and soak in.
Mark Coons checked in with St. Francis to see how the Knights were incorporating social distancing into football.
Just like any other June, St. Francis Knight football program is working on the upcoming season. They're working on conditioning. They're working on getting ready to return to the postseason after last year's playoff appearance. But this June is not like any other June.
I mean, everything feels a little bit different right now, but we're finally starting to get back into the swing of things, and it's fun. We're having fun out here.
I think it's more complicated because, like, we've been out of shape, been out of school, had to focus on academics a lot more and stuff like that. And just to get out here and try to get back in shape and back in a habit of football is kind of difficult, you know.
So the sessions are actually not that much different in terms of the work that we're doing on the field. You know, we have to social distance, so the way that I've organized it and the coaching staff has organized it has been different, but the actual activity and what the players are doing in terms of running and stretching and dynamic warm-ups and hip mobility and you know, this phase has always been total body conditioning, so it's really been a heavy emphasis on running and jumping and explosion and acceleration. So for us, this has been good. We're not using the football, we're not using any weight equipment, we're just out here and getting loose again and running, which isn't all that different than what we've done in years past.
It feels great. It's fun to be back out here and just be with my teammates. Like, I miss them so much. It's been a minute since we've been on the football field together.
Getting back onto the football field, again, albeit in small groups, and just loving on one another and being around one another, socially distancing, but again, being around one another and welcoming each other back, and just the camaraderie has been a beautiful thing. But then also just putting in the work and running off those last 3 months and just getting back to the process.
It feels great, just being back out here, you know, the nice weather, finally being able to get off the couch a little bit more than I have been. It's been fun. I like it out here.
So we try to text in group chats a lot and just stay connected and keep that team chemistry up, and just try to be together as much as we can without being too close to each other. Simple stuff like that.
Coach Tripp put, you know, some things on the internet that we can do, like, you know, jugs of water and things like that, you know, to keep us, you know, in shape pretty much.
So we had a Google Sheets to where we all had workouts so we could stay in shape, and then we all had to report back into the Google Sheets to tell them what we did.
So I'm 100% optimistic that we'll be playing football in the fall and on time. I believe that there will not be a delay. And I think in my position, you have to think like that. I don't think, you know, you may consider some alternative plans if it does present itself, but we are completely on schedule, and we've identified a phased approach, a 4-phased approach or a strategy for these summer months where we're going to break the team into sub-teams. We're going to have a red team, a royal team, a white team, and a gray team, and that'll keep us in small groups, and it's going to put maybe a little bit more of the onus on the coaching staff to work some long days in the late weeks of June and into July. But for the players, this is going to allow an opportunity that they may not have had in the past to get even more one-on-one instruction. So our mini camps are going to look a whole lot different, to where there may only be 35 kids on a team versus 85 or upwards of 100. So I think that that's going to be a good thing for the players to receive that instruction.
Thank you, Mark. Coming up, find out why I'm a sports reporter and not a professional golfer. It's the debut of Glass City Golfing, and it's coming up next.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where nobody treats you better.
After a spring that felt more like a century than a season, at long last, summer is finally here. And with the warm weather and the loosening of coronavirus restrictions, golfers across the area are once again teeing off on their favorite courses. We decided to get in on the fun and are debuting a new summer golf series, Glass City Golfing, where we go to local courses and play one hole with the club pro. Our first stop, Oak Harbor Golf Club. We're out here at Oak Harbor Golf Course, and I'm joined by Chuck and Brad Bennis here. Chuck, you're the owner of the golf course here at Oak Harbor. If you would, could you tell us a little bit about your course here?
Well, it was originally built in 1964 as a 9-hole course, and it was called Portage Point Golf Club. The Portage River surrounds our golf course, and where we're standing here on the 13th tee, you can see how the river comes all the way around, and this part of the course is like a peninsula into the river, and the river's there and it's also behind us. So this is kind of our amen corner.
So why did you choose hole 13 for us to play here?
It's kind of our signature hole, okay, because it's par 5, over 500 yards, and it goes all the way out with a pond right there by the green, and it's one of our most challenging holes, and one that people remember when they play here.
One of their most challenging holes, and this is my first time playing golf this season, so I'm sure this is going to go great. What do you like about this course?
So I like that it's pretty open. A lot of people tend to score pretty well here because the holes kind of run next to each other a lot of times. So you're not guarded by too many hazards that you kind of end up looking for your ball too often, and you can find it and keep on playing.
I love to hear that. Not a lot of hazards. You can hit balls onto other fairways. I do that quite a bit, so that's certainly a good thing for me. Now tell me, obviously, every aspect of life has been impacted by the coronavirus and the quarantine that we've all dealt with. Have you seen an effect here at the golf course? Have any policies changed as far as, social distancing and that sort of thing?
Certainly. Obviously, we were fortunate enough to be open through most of the shutdown, but having to ride, one person per cart, keep the social distancing. We've got the pool noodles in the hole, so you can't pull the flag sticks and touch the flag sticks at this point. But it's also nice to be outside, and a lot of folks have kind of adapted to that, and it is one place where you can go and stay busy while there's not a lot else going on. So
this is great footage, just me looking for my ball. Very accurate to how I truly play though, so I'm getting a
real life look inside the Alex Wilcox golf game. Oh, I think I found it. I would bet money that this ball is going right into that pond. Don't go in the water. So I am less than a foot away. Let's see, yeah, about a hand away from being in the pond. Somehow avoided it. Rather be lucky than good, right? Oh my God. I knew as soon as I hit that too.
Yeah.
Nope. I hate this game. On the green. All right, so my ball is right here, just past the green here. So I don't have much of a chip here, but still got to get it up, get it onto the green. What's your chipping advice here?
My advice chipping would be just concentrate on tempo. Okay. Easy back, easy through. Mm-hmm. A lot of times folks might decelerate, and then it would cause you to either hit it a little low or hit it a little fast. So nice easy tempo and be good to go from there.
Easier said than done. I need a lesson. So we're finally on the green here, and Brad, you're actually putting for birdie. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Let's hear your putting tips.
So putting tips, so from here, I mean, it's gonna break a little bit left. Out here on the back nine, most of the greens slant from back to front, so you have to take notice of whether you're going uphill or downhill, or it'll keep rolling on you.
Well, Chuck, thank you for having us out, and Brad, thanks for playing with us.
Yep,
we had
no problem.
a lot of fun on this course, and I know a lot of people will have a lot of fun this whole summer. No one has ever confused me for Tiger Woods. Now, to learn more about Oak Harbor or for tee times and rates, just head to their website, oakharborgolfclub.com. Next week, we'll head to Perrysburg, where Claire Dow will try her hands at Crosswinds Golf Club. We are just over a year away from the Solheim Cup coming to Toledo, and earlier this week, Angela Stafford was named an assistant captain for Pat Hurst. Stafford is a 6-time veteran of the International Golf Tournament and is a major champion on the LPGA Tour, winning the Evian Championship back in 2018. Now, it won't be the first time Hurst and Stafford have teamed up together in the Solheim Cup. They were paired with each other back in 2007 when Team USA defeated Europe in Sweden. Stafford also earned the winning point for Team USA in 2015. The 2021 Solheim Cup is scheduled for September 4th through the 6th, with the competition itself at the Inverness Club, but festivities all week long throughout Toledo, including the opening ceremonies on the riverfront. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we've got a story on a local standout athlete who had a send-off to remember. That's coming up next on Sports Nightly. The coronavirus has changed a lot for this year's high school senior class. Virtual learning, canceled proms, and of course no spring sports, just to name a few. But one thing didn't change. They still graduated. And with graduation comes graduation parties. Although those two look a little different. This year's senior class had to get creative on how to celebrate the end of their high school career. And for Cardinal Stritch standout Joey Hollyfield, his family wanted to make sure that he got the graduation party he deserved.
Congratulations!
Thank you. It's great, to have people come out and, show love since I'm about to leave soon. And due to the pandemic, I couldn't have no party, so this is great to have this, to see everybody.
This is a parade versus a graduation party where everybody gets together at one time. But the best we could come up with is a parade and still celebrate his accomplishments, and that's what we came up with. So far, so good. As a grandfather, it's great. I mean, he's had a good following throughout his basketball career, and to see people still coming out for the parade, it means a lot to the family and Joey himself.
It's very different, but at the same token, he deserves it all, and if this is the way we have to do it, then we're going to make sure we do it really good for him. He wasn't able to play in any of his all-star games, so this kind of makes up for it. At the same token, he's kind of like his mom, me, which we like to hide. We like to have the party, but we hide at the same time. And I just think this is easier for him also, too, to have a little personal one-on-one and keep the line moving for him. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, just to see it, you see me crying here and getting emotional from it just because he is such a good kid and deserves the best. So, to have the whole school support him and all the people that have supported him throughout his career is great to see it.
Oh, it means a lot as a dad. The work that he puts in is showing. The good kid that he is in the gym and the great kid that he is outside the gym. It shows, and due to the people that are coming by here, they're showing their support for a great kid. It's his final goodbye, but he'll be back. He'll be back to see them, because it it's a great relationship that he has with Coach Jamie and the rest of the family over at Stritch. You know, Jamie's he's a family friend. You know, he graduated with my brother from Rossford, and I was right behind him. So Jamie's a great family friend, and I appreciate him for everything he's done for my son.
Yeah, it is. You know, I went by Stritch a couple of times just to see the building, you know, to say my last goodbyes, and you know, see all these people today saying goodbye for the last time. It's a great feeling, you know, all the moments we had, so I'm going to miss them all. Stritch is a big family, you know. I wouldn't be here without them. You know, they helped me become the person I am today. So, you know, I give it all to Stritch, and, you know, I'm going to do the same thing I was doing at Stritch and try to do better at Oakland.
Thank you to our producer Jason Ozenbaugh for that story, and a big congrats to all of the grads in the class of 2020. We're not done yet. We'll wrap things up next on Sports Nightly. This year's Mud Hens baseball season is still on holds due to the national pandemic, but if you're itching for some Hens action, we got you covered. Each and every Monday, we'll be bringing you Mud Hens Mondays, highlighting some of the biggest games from Fifth Third Field. From Justin Verlander taking the mound to Mike Hessman's minor league home run record, we'll have all the action right here on BCSN. And this week on BCSN Classics, in a tribute to my Long Island roots, it's a full slate of lacrosse, including dramatic come-from-behind finishes, last-minute goals, and titles on the line. That's all coming up this week on BCSN Classics. That'll do it for us here at Sports Nightly. Same time, same place next Sunday. Thanks for watching.